Hey, how's it going, everybody? Making my first video in a really long time. I've gotten lots of records since the last video, like lots and lots and lots of records. I sold some that brought in some revenues. So I'm gonna go through things kind of quickly. Just tell you a lot of Brazilian stuff, a lot of jazz. Um, I'd ordered some stuff from a Brazilian seller a while back, and he had some issues mailing them to me, so it took quite a while. But this is one of the ones that I got. I got a bunch from him, and it's got this. The sleeve, the plastic is permanently on here. I can't take it off. So sorry for the glare. This is Os Novos Baianos. This is like a second pressing of their first record. This is really cool stuff, like Tropicalia, in popular music of Brazil. Yeah, that's really cool. Some modern music. If you guys haven't checked out Angel Olson, definitely check her out. I liked her last album a lot. This one is, I think, just as good, if not better. It's got this song "Shut Up, Kiss Me." It's a great song. It's got I think "Never Be Mine" is also really good. I can't remember. It's somewhere on that first side, but the whole record is good. So that's brand new. Check that out. And beautiful, beautifully done. Look how heavy that. Look how heavy that is. Really nice. I just realized that I said beautifully done, and I was referring to the cardboard of the record sleeve rather than the sinker, which says something about my priorities, I guess. I had a lot by of a bunch of jazz and blues from a guy on eBay. This is the one that I was after. This is a mint copy of the Big Sound, Gene Ammons All Stars, but it's got Coltrane, Mal Waldron, Pepper Adams, so huge all-star lineup there. This is on the Fireworks label. Still a second press because it's Bergenfeld, but it's not the vinyl's clean sounding. It's not the recycled vinyl. This is a guy I found out about here on YouTube, and I started looking for his stuff, but most of it's way out of print and impossible to even find for sale, much less at a reasonable price. So this is not a compilation, but something he did back in maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I guess. This is Lloyd Miller and the Heliocentrics. This is a guy whose family was in the 50s and 60s, moved to pre-revolution Iran. And so he mixed jazz music with Persian classical music. So that's the kind of stuff that you hear on there. It's really cool. I bought some records from an Italian seller. This was a really nice surprise because I thought this was going to be a later pressing without the ear. I thought it was going to be a later pressing than what it was. And it was actually a second press. This is Donald Byrd, Off to the Races, Blue Note. This has another all-star lineup with Jackie McLean, Pepper Adams. Only issue is the weird staining on there, but the disc is like mint. And it even came with the nice original Blue Note inner sleeve. Euclid Records out of St. Louis has been posting some amazing stuff on their eBay. I love that shop. I've only been to the one in New Orleans, but I got this very first pressing of Tenor Conclave. They had it as like VG minus or something like that. They had really underrated it, and it plays perfectly. It's in mono. West 50th address. I don't know if you guys can see it. West 50th address on that. Tenor Conclave, of course, it's got Coltrane, Zoot, Sims, Alcone, Hank Mobley. When I was tagging that one to put on Instagram, I tagged Coltrane first, and there were thousands and thousands of Coltrane tags. Then I went to tag Hank Mobley, tons and tons. Then I did Zoot Sims, and then I did Alcone. I feel bad for Alcone. He had very few tags. I guess he has not translated into the modern jazz collector world. Here's what I got in Dallas. There's a record store up there called Forever Young in the Grand Prairie, which is part of Dallas because Dallas is huge. They're having a 30% off sale, and they have amazing stuff. It's a little pricey for the most part, but with 30% off, it wasn't bad at all. And this one was actually kind of reasonable price before. This is a first stereo in and out Joe Henderson. I'm actually listening to another Joe Henderson I got from them right now. Mode for Joe is what I have on right now. This is on the New York label. You can see. That's awesome. With Alvin Jones, Richard Davis, Kenny Dorham. Oh, another Brazilian one. These guys are awesome. This is called The Blow Up. This is like a Brazilian garage band from 68 or 69. See the chest hair? Look at that chest hair. Doing like garage rock. It's mostly covers from what I can tell, but they're awesome covers. So like they do like all these pop rock covers of English songs. Sometimes they sing in Portuguese, sometimes they sing in English. Tons of reverb on the vocals, and I'll just put that aside. Tons of reverb on the vocals, and the bass is way up in the mix, so everything is like boom, 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 really funky sounding. Oh yeah, this one. I got a lot of George Ben records recently. I think I have like 6 of his records now since I made my last video. This is maybe one of the best ones I've got. This is a Tabula de Esmeralda. This is original on Philips Brazilian press. It's from the Brazilian seller that I ordered quite a bit from this guy. That's really cool. Keeping it in the Brazilian mode, quite a few of them here. This is Caetano Veloso. This is his first record, solo record. He had one with Gal Costa before. This is like the beginning of the Tropicalia records. This is super great. Although I prefer Gal Costa's records to Veloso's, even though he writes like all of the songs on hers. This is the Philips mono, in really nice shape. That's from I got that from a seller here in the U.S. Who was very nice and threw in like an extra George Ben record completely free for me, without telling me. More Brazilian, and my favorite, absolute favorite, Gal Costa. This is the 69, I want to say, Gal Costa record. Original Brazilian press in mono. From a Philips label. I dig the Philips label. This has a version of, I think the song's just called Baby. I don't remember. Yeah, it has a version of Baby that's really great. Okay, last two. I think I had talked a little bit about how the British pound has been like plummeting, so sorry UK folks, but it led me to go ahead and grab some records that I've been after forever, and I never thought I would get. So the first one, this is a UK mono, Preservation Green, by the Kinks, the Gatefold. This is nothing to add to this record, other than, and everybody knows this record, but it's on the Blue Pie label. Love that record. I think I've listened to it like a dozen times since I got that a couple weeks ago. And then the biggest buy, which was only possible because I sold some of those jazz records from an eBay lot purchase for quite a bit to some Japanese buyers. This was from the same English buyer as the Kinks. This is Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies. Original UK mono on the CBS. Oops. On the CBS label with the original Sound of Entertainment sleeve in at least Fiji Plus condition. Just such a beautiful record. And there are certain things that I noticed in the mono mix that I didn't notice in my stereo mixes, because I've had a few of them. I don't know if it's because they're not there in the stereo or because the mono, really concentrates certain things and you hear it you hear it when you don't hear it in the stereo. But I really love that record. I actually have the Brazilian mono now as well, and I'm going to do a very, very close comparison of those two and see if the Brazilian ends up being like a exact match with the UK. I still think I would keep the UK over the Brazilian, only because the Brazilian switches some of the song order around. They put Time of the Season as B1 instead of the very end of the album, and I never feel like Time of the Season makes sense on that record anyway. It sounds somehow different than the rest of it. So I'd rather it be at the end so I could just not listen to it if I don't feel like it. Okay, well, that's a whole bunch of records, I realized really quickly. Not doing the... I was doing some needle drops for you guys. I made another video that I didn't post with the needle drops because YouTube said they kept cutting stuff out. So, seems like doing needle drops doesn't make much sense. And also, I apologize for being so fuzzy. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.